another piece of myself. Shave off that.
Leave your humanity outside. Just a hard wall that you hit up against.
Shit is always going to clog pipes. We're in the business of unclogging consciousness pipes.
Yes, this is a stream in which we delve, especially here in the state of Florida, where we reside, into the murky waters of wokeness, right? But before we get to all of that and find our way to that, we're going to go to the world of baseball, because that's naturally what we're going to do today. Because today is the day after the World Baseball Classic, Samurai Japan, and I'm wearing this hat in their honor. This is one of their, like, Samurai Baseball, right?
Oh my God, look at that beauty.
But I'm also repping, not because I'm from there or anything like that, but I love the Dominican Republic team. So this is the Dominicana t-shirt. So I'm repping. They didn't make it very far. Japan made it to the final, and
Japan went all the way.
US made it to the final, and Japan and the US clashed like titans. Cinema. It was the making of a beautiful moment in sort of, in film, as you would consider the drama, everything that brought everybody to that moment, to that spot, the way it built up. It's insane. We're going to get into that, but I'll begin with what I experienced with my son a little while ago, right? So before we came in to settle in for the stream, he's 13. He's on a junior high, middle school, as we would say down here, but up north they say junior high. I like junior high. It's kind of, middle school sounds very like stuck in the middle. It's like it's elementary, which is an awesome word, and high, but then middle. Like take your hormones and your pimples and your awkwardness and your gawkiness and just all occupy this one building, because nobody else wants to deal with you. Right? Like go there for a day, and the rest of us are going to go live our lives, and we'll come pick you up later. So anyway,
oh my God.
But he's awesome. Miles is his name, and he's terrific, and he's 13, and he's in 7th grade. And he, last year, coming into this year, discovered baseball, right? And baseball is a different kind of sport, right?
Yeah.
It is not really a sport. It is similar to what the First Nations people refer to the sport of lacrosse. If anyone's seen lacrosse with sticks, nets, ball, and then kind of think hockey or soccer on a big field.
Yeah.
But instead of kicking the ball or instead of shooting the puck on ice, they're flipping a ball to each other. So this is the way the game was first played. Sort of not really on a field like this. The way that First Nations people played lacrosse. And I played lacrosse up north. And up north, you got a lot of people from a lot of different First Nations. And this will relate to the whole anti-wokeness attitude, because apparently it's woke to say the idea that these were people that were completely disenfranchised, marginalized, beaten, enslaved in a different way than Black Africans who were brought here were enslaved, but not so different than the way Japanese Americans, citizens of this country, were enslaved post-World War II because they were put in cages. We're going to explore all that tonight. Baseball.
There's no crying in baseball, guys.
No crying in baseball. Excellent reference, Miss Nadine. So it's apparently woke to say that we treated indigenous people who occupied this country, First Nations people, this land before we got here, and it's woke to say that we treated them like crap, and then just rounded them up and put them in little patches of terrible third world squalor called reservations. But reservations are weird because they're a different land. Now I know Nadine, even you've come through some difficult spaces, and you lived in places where, I remember one place you lived in where it was like, we're crossing into that area. Like, so it was very like, where is this? Why? But it was still part of where, like, Gainesville.
Right.
But kind of not. But reservations are just out there now. They're like third world, like, villages, you know, and there's no, everything's like their own. There's no like Gainesville regional utilities also providing power to it. They're their own territory. And that's kind of awful because they were just put away.
Right.
Now, Black Americans also get put away. We just call those prisons. But these are also prisons, and they're reservations. Reservations, prisons. Like, it's terrible, right? But anyway, we did that, and it's woke to say that, which is bullshit, because it's not woke. It's our history. But First Nations people, they occupied this land long before we did, and they didn't like to go to war. They liked to play what they called a medicine game. And a medicine game, lacrosse, as it's come to be known in modern times, was called the little brother of war, because they played and they beat the crap out of each other. Yeah. Lacrosse is pretty heavy. I mean, we wear pads and everything, and it's kind of rough, but you carry the ball, and as you can see on this screen, there's these little poles sticking out right here. Pole right there. And you hit the pole with a ball that you carry in a netted stick. These sticks are super different from what are being used today because it's a different kind of control. These sticks were kind of just cradles, right? And they gave you a whip motion to go hit that pole, and that was a goal. Now, in modern day, we play with goals separately in a different capacity, but this game was there. And it was also referred to not just as a medicine game, but it's also referred to as a spirit game, right?
Yeah.
This is what is important about games like lacrosse, and subsequently, as we're going to talk about, baseball. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of people in my grill about this, but there are certain sports that I don't consider to be exist in the same capacity, especially culturally the way they exist now. And two of them, definitely going to get heat for this, which I both played and continue to play are football and basketball. They don't now. Basketball, there are players that are not playing a game as much as they are manifesting poetry on the court, right? Like, it's beautiful. But it's not necessarily, it's closer to these spaces where, you know, I really think like soccer too, or known the worldwide as football, like that football, world football, I also don't consider to be a medicine game, right? But it has great national identity, just like basketball and football. And so it serves a similar purpose, but it's not undergirded with similar concepts. Right? Yeah. And that's what I wanted to kind of get at. And that's what this is. Right? So everybody's playing. See those? See the cradle sticks?
Yeah.
Okay, so they grab.
Those are like tiny.
They're tiny. It's hard. But these guys have legit skill, right? Yeah. So they cradle, they play, and then whip. They hit. They run, cradle, whip, and hit. Right? Look at that beautiful. Isn't it nice
to hit that tiny pole too?
Yeah.
Well, I guess when you look at it.
Yeah. So now I'm going to show you. That's First Nations lacrosse, but now I'm going to show you Onondaga Nation lacrosse, right? So that was that. This is an amazing idea. Like, you'll see, like, these are.
And finally tonight, the secret language of a champion, born to play a sport that is older than the United States. 3 athletes, 1 family, who want to tell us this is more than a game. This is a celebration of all they are. ABC's Byron Pitts and our Persons of the Week.
Yeah, okay.
You are looking at the hope of a nation.
That's what sticks look like now.
It begins here on a dirt field.
Yeah.
Out of this unlikely place have come three of the most astonishing athletes this country has seen. That's Lyle Thompson playing the sport of his ancestors.
He is the Wayne Gretzky, the Michael
Look at
Jordan.
that. Look at that movement,
He is
right?
on another.
So the idea here is there's a goal. So there's a whole lot of running around and taking these sticks are very much more designed in this way because they're designed to have a very shallow cradle, like because you can take your shot like this around the net, and it's almost like there's guys who can curve a shot, kind of like bend it like Beckham in soccer. And just like not footballs, but baseballs.
Yeah.
You know, kind of travel. They curve. Exactly. This has a similar concept. These Thompson brothers are remarkable, right? Like they're all older now, and they played. That's what Onondaga lacrosse looks like now, right? Yeah. But let me see. You know, I mean, this is like how you see.
My name is Alfred Jock. I'm a lacrosse stick maker on the Onondaga Turtle Clan. We're here at my shop at Onondaga Nation.
They're like samurai crafting sword. They're like swordsmiths, right? This is like my porn, right? And I watch this and I want one of these sticks, but it's so hard to get, right? Like, I want to try. I'm going to try to find a used one.
Why I still make lacrosse sticks. Why I do that is for our people. People of the Haudenosaunee, Onondagas here. We use our sticks to play our traditional game. You know, with religious ceremony, we play our game our way with our ball and our stick. It's such a part of our whole culture, our religion, who we are as a people. That's the main reason why I continue to make wooden sticks, is for our people. To make a lacrosse.
So now you're getting the idea. How it's done, right? So this is a medicine game. Let's see how baseball has become a medicine game, right? Let's see how that works, right? And some of these are, you know, kind of references to Christianity as a ministry. The reason I don't click on that is because it's not focusing on a spiritual practice per se that is personal to an individual and also generalized to the team, you know, as a group of people. This is more about using baseball to like create disciples, to like proselytize, to spread the word of Jesus through baseball. Like, I mean, okay, that's cool, but I'm not looking at it in that way. I'm looking at it as something different, and it's what I will obviously show. It's what the Japanese have made. It is sacred. Every high school baseball player desires to reach it. It's like a World Series. There's Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
There's a national fervor around it. See, you see that particular part of it? My goodness. This is what happens when we haven't streamed for a while. My skills are off, like manipulate different things. So it was imported from the States as a martial art. Think of what that means. It's just like the medicine game, The Little Brother of War. It was there to settle understanding between people. Like, we can game. Now, basketball does that too, but it does it less as it approaches the NBA, and it gets away from the West 4th Street's courts in Manhattan, or the West Side courts here in Gainesville, right? Because that's where those decisions are made as well, right? So this is a part of youth education. You see, it's a national identity, right? So let's see a little bit more of what they say. A purity in the players that's missing in the adult world. A way of life.
目的っていうのは野球としてに人間性を高めていく。おはようございます。ありがとうございます。おはようございます。ありがとうございます。
うちの子たちね、一生かけてフォローはできるけれども、3年間しか入ってきた子たちにはやってあげられない。本当に見たことがないの、子供の試合が。
So this film is actually amazing. Like, I like purchased it. It's really good. It has a really great, like, there's some things that are very difficult. I mean, when it comes to discipline, there's always going to be a line that you land on one side or the other with, because you can't overdo it with your children, you know, with people that, like, I know, and you know, even in this field of developmental meaning making, it is sometimes you push someone too far, too hard, too soon. And I've learned from that. But that's what it is. That's how you build a practice. You learn. You fuck up and you learn. You fuck up and you learn. And I love that idea because baseball really explores that. It's a game that just sits on the tip of a point that can be success or failure at any moment. It is so precise, right? So, and there's a movie with Tom Selleck that's about this from the 80s called Mr. Baseball. An out of control, like, you know, like, I'm kind of crazy and whatever, like American baseball player, you know, and like he messes up and he gets sent to Japan and he learns a lot about the Japanese way of baseball. And that's what Trevor is actually talking about in real life. So he's the real life Mr. Baseball, right? So let's see what he has to say.
The final process isn't simple though. Okay, but I'm gonna get there 10 days before.
Deal with
the Yokohama Bay Stars,
marking his return to pro baseball after 2 years away.
The former Cy Young Award winner
Bauer has talked about playing in Japan before,
and despite other Japanese teams considering him, the Bay Stars ultimately signed him.
I wouldn't be the person I am today if it weren't for baseball. It's how I bonded with my parents and learned to push through failure to achieve my goals.
2020 National League Cy Young Award goes to Trevor Bauer.
2020. The year he won is the year he was dropped.
It's where I developed my peer group, and it's given me the means to support others. I want to help people fall in love with baseball the way I have, and not just in the United States, but all across the world, like they have in Japan, where the passion for the game of baseball exceeds anything I've ever experienced. So in order to understand why I've chosen to pitch for the Bay Stars, we need to turn the clock back 14 years and start at the beginning.
So we'll skip ahead a little bit.
Facility and speak to players that were training there. Their desire to learn and improve as an organization resonated with me, as did how they treat their players. I was also lucky enough to visit the Meiji Jingu Stadium, one of the oldest stadiums in Japan. A stadium that's hosted games featuring American legends like Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Jimmy Foxx.
History.
However, that trip wasn't all about baseball. I learned a lot about Japan's rich culture, including the concept of wa, a concept in which individuals prefer peace and unity in their community over their individual needs.
Did you hear that? The concept of wa, right? So let me bring this to you because...
Wow, that's insane. Like...
Yeah, so...
over their individual needs?
Yeah, so this is what... You Gotta Have Wa by Robert Whiting is... Whiting? Whiting. Wa is the Japanese ideal of unity, team play, and no individual heroes, a concept that ex-US major leaguers playing in Japan have had a lot of trouble grasping, right? Like the American game, the Nippon version is played with a bat and ball. The same rulebook is also used, but that's where the resemblance between the two, US baseball and Japanese baseball, ends. Training, for example, is nearly a religion in Japan. Baseball players in the US start spring training in March and take no more than 5 or 6 weeks to prepare for the season. That's what's happening right now in Major League Baseball. But 3 to 4 hours on the field each day and then head for the nearest golf course or swimming pool. Japanese teams begin training in the freezing cold of mid-January. Each day they're on the field for a numbing 8 hours. And then it's off to the dormitory for an evening of strategy sessions and still more workouts indoors. Players run 10 miles a day, and one team, the Tayo Whales, periodically performs the death climb, 20 sprints up and down the 275 steps of a nearby Shinto. It's their version of kind of like a disciplined religion shrine, right? So you're getting a sense of what that is, right? It says, if you ask a Japanese manager what he considers the most important ingredient of a winning team, he would most likely answer wa. If you ask him how to knock a team's wa awry, he'd probably say, hire an American, right? So that is what Trevor is going for here.
Which individuals prefer peace and unity in their community over their individual needs. It's a culture of honor, respect, and humility. And I could use some of that in my life right now. And since then, I've kept in touch with Japanese players around the league, sharing training methods and pitching tips with guys like Yu Darvish and Yusei Kikuchi.
Swing and a miss.
I developed a friendship with Yoshi Sugo, who informed me that I was doing the sword celebration all wrong. I initially sheathed the sword on my right hip, but samurai wear their sword on the left.
He always does.
I adjusted
this.
accordingly.
But
Becoming the best pitcher in the world has always been my goal, and it will be for years to come. Getting stronger and fitter than I've ever been in my life, throwing harder than I've ever thrown before. Those are all on-field skills that I've developed. But to be the best role model I can be, I need to grow as a person. Look, I recognize that I've made mistakes, and I have to live with those. I've made plenty of errors in judgment and stupid choices that someone in my position never should have made. And I've reacted the wrong way to things said about me in the press and on social media. So really, it's no surprise that when I sign with a new team, in a new country, and start to live out a dream that I've had for more than a decade, this is the public reaction.
So there you go, Trevor.
So everyone's like, oh, does anyone believe he's going to do anything? I say,
Right.
well done, Trevor Bauer. You have to follow through with that, but that is a developmental decision right there.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just the trouble he got into. He was recognizing it. He produced this, right? This is his channel. So he was recognizing the times that he acted like a jackass on field, off the field in social media. If someone criticized him, he's like, come on, I'll fuck you up, or I'm better than you, or whatever. We're talking about an untethered ego expression. And we're talking about narcissism as well. But somehow this guy just captured my attention, right? I've exposed some of his training methods to my son, and he loves Trevor Bauer's idea. Well, how can you do that? He's a sexual predator. I talked to my son about that too. And I said, there are, and one thing first and foremost that I said is, if that is the choice that he made, that is a reprehensible choice. And that's something he's going to have to deal with. And if he has to face legal, recourse, then he will. But we also can't just assume that something is said. And then we got into the idea of consent, and we got into the idea of women now being portrayed as liars, and victim blaming coming up on the rise again. And how do women who are still sexually predated upon by men way more than anything else, how can they say this happened to me if everyone's like, I don't know? And that's something that sucks, and we have to figure that out as a community. And we need people like him who address these things very head on as part of the community. I'm saying all this because Trevor exposed himself to Japanese baseball, and now you're getting a sense of what that is. Having played baseball in a very American way, but having discovered Japanese baseball later in life, and now kind of getting back into baseball in a very daily practice kind of way with my son, I am introducing him to these concepts relative to, because he gets what he gets. Thankfully, he's had 2 teams with coaches that have their own internal understanding of WA, but being American coaches, but they've been American ball players. in college, in the pro. One of his head coach is an ex-pro ball player, old school.
Yeah.
And I look at him like he just tells me, he's like, well, back in '73, I was 1 at the time. Right? Back in '73 up in Chicago, when the Tigers came into town and I was playing AAA, I'll tell you, it was murderer's row out there. And I'm just like, I love you, please instill in my son these things, these ideas. So we're lucky to have found community baseball, right?
Yeah.
And there's also the idea of WA, as Trevor mentioned, and that flows into the concept of Japanese baseball and flows through it. And that now has flown through the consciousness of millions of Americans with the World Baseball Classic. Like, we've had the World Baseball Classic previously, right? Like, it occurred in 2006, 2009, 13, 17. And the US and Japan have both, with I think Dominican Republic in there one time. That's 4, right? So I think Japan's won a couple, US won one, and the Dominican Republic won one, and now we had this one. And US and Japan were fighting, and Japan's won it again, right? So it's not like the US, remember the Dream Team, the US basketball? They didn't always win. They got schooled by Lithuania or something, and I'm talking Michael Jordan and LeBron and Kobe and Shaq and all these guys, right? And they got schooled.
Yeah.
Right? So the world's letting us know, hold up, you guys might get all the Nike commercials, but hold up, so Japan won this World Baseball Classic, and it was brilliant. And this is what it came down to at the end. They're all just titans up at the plate, right? And so they went up there and they got on base. One guy got on base, another guy hit. It could have been really good, but Japan insanely got a double play. And suddenly there's 2 outs. And everyone's like, oh my God, right? And that was Shohei Ohtani pitching. His team's behind him. A hush falls over the stadium. The captain of the U.S. team, Mike Trout, who is a slugger for the Los Angeles Angels, and who came out carrying the American flag at the beginning of this game, like Captain fucking America, right? He's up. And on the mound is the captain of the Japanese team, who came out carrying the Japanese flag like fucking Atomic Samurai. And he also plays for the Los Angeles Angels. The 2 best baseball players on the planet play for the same team, so they've never faced each other in an actual game situation. But now this is for real. Captain America versus Atomic Samurai. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how it went down. Let's watch.
Manu a manu right here. USA's captain versus Japan's captain. First time
look at Mike
they've
Trout
ever faced each other.
And he looks a little stiff, but look at Shohei Ohtani's face. Look at that. Look at that.
Against the best.
Look at that. You know what? I'm just going to freeze frame on that a little bit, folks, because look at that face. Folks, if you want to know what intention looks like, I present to you, as one other pro player tweeted yesterday, the unicorn god of baseball. Now, folks, this is a player from Japan. Let's not forget what stream we're on, right? It's Humanist Nightmare Fuel. Japan decided to, and this is woke, right? No, this isn't woke. This is patriotic. They decided to bomb the U.S. by bombing Pearl Harbor. And they killed a whole lot of people. we then decided to put nuclear bombs on 2 of their cities, and we killed a lot of people, the US, and then continued to kill them because they all started to have radiation poisoning through generations. That's Japan, right? Then, when they did that, there were a lot of Japanese Americans, like, not like, you know, Shohei Ohtani, you know, but like Mike Jones, you know, like they lived, especially out
like
west,
generations in,
and they were all put into Japanese internment camps. Let's see what those look like. That means we took our neighbors and put them into places like this. Do these look familiar, Nadine? Do these look like anything? Because they look like civil rights photos of just 20 years after, but with black people.
Yeah.
Look at that. Does that look like anything? That's where they lived. Does that look like a prison?
Yeah, I was gonna say housing projects too.
It looks like projects, right? And then it looks like that. Does that look like Auschwitz? Does that look like what the Nazis did to Jews?
Yeah, it does. It looks exactly like that.
Right. So we did that, but here is this moment. Look what's possible, right? Look what's possible. It's amazing. Like, we'll dig into that a little bit. Let's just see how this moment goes.
Ohtani to Trout.
And so Trout took that one, right? He took that pitch. He was like, let me see what you got. I know you're going to come with this particular pitch, a slider. Like, I'm going to wait on it. I'm going to wait on it. He took it. So it's ball. It's 1-0, the count. Remember, there's 4 balls. You go to a walk, right? And then other players come up, still just 1 out left, but maybe they can do something, right? Or what everybody wants is for Trout to homer and tie the game at 3-3, and then they go into the 10th inning, right? So, or they hold Japan and then go into the 10th inning. That's what everyone wants, right? But it's still high pressure because it's 2 outs. Now, the count is 1-0 with that ball. Notice the speed up here. That's 88 miles an hour he gave him that. He gave him 88 miles an hour, which isn't very fast for these guys. And for Mike Trout, he's like, I see what you got. I see what's coming, right? So that was Ohtani's first pitch. Let's see what he's thinking.
We waited a long time to say that.
Waited a long time.
Speechless. Not much to say, but enjoy.
Speechless.
Let's do it.
Not much to say, just enjoy. Just enjoy. Let's see what he gives him now. What's he gonna come with?
Ohtani's 1-0.
100 miles per hour right down the fucking pipe.
Is this fun or what?
And Trout went, and he was so far behind that pitch. He barely started his swing, and the pitch was already across the plate.
Looking for heroics.
But look, now he's like, all right.
Ohtani's 1-1.
100 miles again. Travels a little bit.
It is unbelievable.
Look at
it's
it.
100
He's just like,
miles
oh my
an hour.
God. He just gave me
That
2 hundos. 2 hundos right there, back to back.
That's a ball.
2 hundos and an 88.
Great take.
Yeah.
This take, though, he's giving him the heater.
And now, look at this guy. This guy's just like, please. Baseball Jesus is praying himself.
2-1.
And
here's the pitch.
Again! 100 miles per hour! And Trout swings again! And he misses it!
I would have won it any other way.
Spin rate on that.
My best stuff against your best swing.
Oh, look at his face! He's like, oh, that hurt! Bro! That hurts.
Here we go.
What's he gonna give? That's 300s in a row.
USA down to its final
What can you give here?
In the 9th inning.
300s in a row.
Ohtani, 2-2 to Mike Trout.
In the dirt.
Here's the pitch.
100
in the dirt at 102.
Scares him. He says, I've got 2 more. I gave you 100, but I'm giving you 102 on this one. So now, Trout is ready, right? Trout is up there, and he's like, he's going to give me, let's go. My best stuff against your best stuff. Let's go. I'm ready for 100 plus. I'm ready for it. And let's see what Atomic Samurai does.
3-2 from Ohtani.
An 87-mile-per-hour slider. Look at Todd Walker. He's looking in disbelief. He's
Celebrate a World Baseball Classic Championship.
How did you do that? He's still looking. He's like, what? What was that?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
And this night, the great Shohei Ohtani in Japan just a little bit better than.
Look at that. Look at that. That face is, I think, like he himself has said this afterward, but I think that like that face is not surprise, it is awe. He just He just saw baseball perfection played out. He just saw wow in motion. In motion.
There's no crying in baseball, guys.
No crying in baseball.